this on both channels if you want to. We got Rich here in all this turmoil, in all this confusion, in all this craziness. What the heck is going on? I need Rich's perspective today. Rich, how you doing, sir? First of all.
Oh man, I'm doing great. Yesterday was the Super Bowl, and I loved it. It was an amazing game. I thought it was a game for the ages. So from that perspective, I don't know. I just enjoyed the Super Bowl. And, you know, the markets are the markets, Dave. You know, I'll be honest with you. I've been in the market since I was 21, okay? And I'm 40 now. So one thing I've learned about the markets is that they go up and then they go down. And I have never really allowed the markets to dictate my attitude.
Right.
And I've seen a lot of people panicking. I've seen a lot of people saying I should have sold higher. What people have to do when they trade is they have to learn from that. They have to remember these feelings. Because I know what it feels like when all of my cryptos are going down. And then what I try to tell people is when you are in the crypto game or you're in the marijuana stock game, and last week was probably one of the worst weeks I can remember in the marijuana stock industry and crypto industry, both at the same time. So a lot of people got hurt, including myself. And the reality is anybody who was holding crypto or marijuana stocks got hurt. Because the whole industry took a haircut. Like, as far as the marijuana stocks, the whole industry took a 30 to 50% haircut.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The industry. Yeah,
the whole industry. We're not talking one stock here or two stocks. We're talking an entire sector going down 30, 40%, something like that. Some stocks went down 50% or more.
That's correct.
I don't know about you, Rich. I'm sure well, I've seen your WhatsApp group. Some people are concerned, to put it politely. Some people are, okay, they're freaking out.
Well, I think anybody who's losing money in the markets is going to be hurt. And the one thing I have to remind people is the more money you have in the markets, the more you're getting hurt.
Yeah.
So even the biggest guys right now, if they're holding, they're getting hurt. And I'm talking about the billionaires. Because when you have companies like Bitcoin that have gone down from 20,000 to now 6,000, I mean, it's ridiculous. So it's a meteoric fall. You can see it, right? So it's a meteoric fall, and it's a fall that was predicted by a lot of people.
Yeah.
And anybody that was a good trader made money. You know, I'll be quite honest. I sold all my Bitcoin at 17,500. You know, did I make mistakes? Yeah, I made a lot of mistakes. I sold my Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum pretty much at the top because I figured it was a 52-week high. I also sold all my marijuana stocks at the top because I thought it was a 52-week high. I mean, that's the way I trade. I don't get emotional. The biggest mistake I made is I re-entered too soon. And then when I had the opportunity to sell my Ripple, I didn't. And I remember telling everyone in my group when Ripple was at $2, I made a mistake. And everyone's like, what do you mean? Like, how could you make a mistake? I'm like, well, I made a mistake. I should have sold at $3.30, right? Now Ripple is at like ridiculous, like 60 cents, right?
Yeah.
Ripple's at 66 cents. Like you see the sea of red here. It's mind-boggling, right? Yeah. Like look at the sea of red, Dave. You see that? I mean, that's 20% gains across, 20% losses across the board. And this has been like this now for weeks, essentially since the beginning of 2018.
This is crazy.
It's a bloodbath.
I don't see, wow. It's all not just red, but deep red. 20%. I see 26, 28% there. People are getting hurt.
Oh, yeah.
Ripple in the 60, 65, 67 cent range. I never thought I would see that again. Once it went up in...
I've told people it's going back to 20 cents. You heard it here first. It's going to go back to 20 cents because charts don't lie, but people do. And charts have a tendency to go up to 52-week highs and down to 52-week lows. And eventually they'll find a floor and they'll do a dead cat bounce. And you've seen that today in the marijuana stocks. You'll see the marijuana stocks all bounce back nicely today. Take a look at Pub Ventures up 18.9%. Take a look at Cannabis Wheaton. It's up 1.4%. Not huge. I mean, look at Aurora Cannabis up 7.6. Sorry, up at $7.65, up 11%. I mean, these are some of my favorites, right? FIRA is up 6.3%. They are all doing a dead cat bounce because last week they just got annihilated. Canopy Growth Corp up 4.7%. Organogram up 4.4%. These are some of the biggest and the best opportunities in the industry. Puff Ventures is leading the way today, up 18%. So I love the marijuana stocks because it's an industry that actually has something that backs the company. It has medical marijuana or CBDs or nutraceuticals. It has real product which you can back. Whereas in the crypto game, it's one thing I've been saying since the beginning. How can you actually say that in the crypto game, how can you say that you have a $100 billion market cap when you have no equity to back it? When you're a public vehicle, when you're a public company, you're on the NASDAQ, you're on the New York Stock Exchange, you're on the S&P 500, you're on all these major exchanges, you're on the Toronto Stock Exchange. You have to have equity to back your financials. You can't just say, oh, I have a $100 million market cap, but it's all in research and development. It's all in R&D, and some companies do it. But I mean, eventually, you need to have some revenue. You can't just have debt instruments, and have no equity to back it. Now, I'm not suggesting these cryptocurrencies have debt. I don't know. Nobody knows how they're run because they're not public. Right? So nobody knows how they're being run. Nobody knows where the money's going. The owner of Ripple has 100 billion coins. So, even at $1, it's $100 billion. So, and he has the right to sell it as much as he wants, essentially, right? So, I mean, he has it locked up and he can sell. I think there's some type of leak out provision, but even that leak out provision, if it's 1% a month, that's a huge amount. That's $1 billion a month.
Yeah.
So there's nobody regulating these people. You have to understand that. Like, there's nobody regulating those markets. Like, these markets in the marijuana industry, they're being regulated. So that's why I've been telling people that the marijuana stocks are my safe haven.
Right.
But it doesn't mean that they're not going to go down. Okay. And I've always said, what do we tell people, Dave? I am not a licensed advisor. I'm telling you what I'm buying. I'm telling you what I'm doing. And sometimes I'm winning and sometimes I'm losing. But usually I'm holding. And I'm just going to hold. And I'm going to be honest with you. If Ripple goes back to 20 cents, I'm going to buy a lot. And for me, I'm in no rush to buy more at these prices because I feel like it's free falling. So let it free fall. Let it go to a penny. I really don't care. For me, I care for everyone else. But for me, as a trader, I want to get it as cheap as possible because I'm thinking 20 years from now, the banks are still going to be using Ripple. And that's the Warren Buffett strategy. Will this company be in business in 20 years? He's not worried about January 2018 or February 2018. He's not really concerned about that. That's not what made him the best investor of our generation of ever, essentially, in the stock market, right?
Right.
So,
very true. Very true. I'm glad you're not catching a falling knife. When it comes to the cryptocurrency space, you're not catching a falling knife. And I recommend that, I'm not a licensed or registered investment advisor. Rich is not a registered or licensed investment advisor. You need to make your own decisions. Okay, this is not investment advice in this video. But I will say this is what works for me. I don't catch falling knives. If something is going down fast day after day, we saw Rich's screen there. Minus 20%, minus 26%, minus 28% in a day. Okay.
Across the board.
And it's getting,
and I mean, it's been like this every day for the last, I don't know how long. It seems like forever now. Crypto world is so crazy.
Yeah.
So,
and this is not necessarily, my opinion only, this is not necessarily the time to get in. You want to wait till investors calm down and show some confidence in this particular market. Okay. What I like to do, and my father taught me this. I used to want to get in because I heard, Warren Buffett said, buy when there's blood on the streets. Okay, but that doesn't mean you buy at the worst part, okay? All right, you buy, this is what my father taught me, and he's been in this trading and investing game for a long time. When something's falling fast, you wait until it's done falling, okay? And then you wait till it starts to go sideways. That means the market is calming down a little bit. And then it starts to hook upwards a little bit. That's even better. You get that little fish hook, okay? Down, 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 sideways, little fish hook upwards. That means that the bleeding has at least slowed down, maybe even stopped. No guarantees. Of course, it can go down more. But I'm going to wait until the bleeding at least slows down, okay?
Definitely.
And if you're already holding that, I've been getting a lot of emails. Rich, I know you've been getting a lot of messages in your WhatsApp group. Everybody needs to check out Rich's WhatsApp group. Just go to WhatsApp. Also check out richtvlive.com. Lots of free resources on there. Don't miss that. Check out his Facebook group while you're at it, Rich TV Live on Facebook. What you want to do is get, okay, if you're already holding, first of all, I hope that you didn't overinvest. Rich and I have been telling you not to overinvest in anything. This has been consistent with us. So if you put too much into it, I'm sorry this is happening, but there's not much we can do for you at this point. As far as if you didn't put too much in, you put some in, you put a little bit in. The question is, do you buy more? Again, I say wait until the bleeding at least slows down. Rich, what do you think?
I agree. I don't think there's any reason to buy some. I haven't bought any cryptos. And I haven't bought any marijuana stocks since they started dropping because my attitude is I already have them. So why buy more? And then secondly, if I'm going to buy them, I want to make sure I buy them at the bottom. So what's the rush? Am I going to rush it? I already rushed it. You know, I sold almost $100,000 of marijuana stocks and then I put 60 back in. Now it was the house's money. It went from 60 down to 41 in a matter of a week. And it was pretty disturbing. But I also know, hey, man, I've seen this before. I mean, how many times? Thousands. Right. So just hold it out. And then today, the marijuana stocks are all back up. But the cryptos are not. You know, so this is why I say, like, you got to find a safe haven. Like, everybody has their safe haven. I like the marijuana stocks. That's my game, you know? Like, you look at Aurora Cannabis, the way it's trading. Like, this is, like, it's nuts. Like, look at it.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It's madness. 7.1 million shares at up 7% at $7.36. But look at the level 2 on this. It's just like a Christmas tree. It's just lighting up. Right? And that's showing volatility. That's showing interest. That's showing investors buying and selling this security. So there's people interested in this. Now, in the crypto game, when you see day after day after day of just this pummeling, as a trader, I'm thinking short it. I'm going to be honest with you. Now, I'm not a trader that likes to short, but that's what I'm thinking. So if I'm thinking short it, short the market, because everybody's doing that. As a trader, that's what's happening. Let's be honest. People are shorting this market, whether they're selling, panic selling, short trading it, whatever. They're selling, they're creating panic, and it's creating this market, this devastating market, right? This isn't just the top 10. It's everything, right?
Right. So
everything is down. Probably there's a handful that's not down. So all your top coins are down. So yeah, it's a time to buy. It's a time to buy. I'm not going to tell anybody to buy because I'm not buying. So why would I tell anybody to buy?
Right.
You know?
No, I appreciate. Well, first of all, your strategy is very interesting because most people don't think of marijuana stocks as a safe haven. Most people think of the marijuana stocks as speculative, as risky, and I'm going to put that in quote fingers, risky, okay? But you know what? All you have to do is look at the S&P 500 right now. The S&P 500 is selling off massively. So if you think that blue chip stocks are safe, take a look at today's price action. S&P 500 down over 3%. This is huge. This hasn't happened in, what, a couple of years, I think? I don't remember the last time this happened.
And the market has to have a correction. I mean, we talked about it. They were up 20% last year. They had their best year ever. The market has to have a correction. It has to go down for it to go up. It's the game, okay? The shorters short it down. They take it down, all the way down, and then the shorters are covering it. So the reason why these stocks have gone up today is the shorters have covered. They have gotten scared. They thought about it. They're like, okay, we've taken this down a lot last week. Let's cover our shorts now, just in case. And you'll see everything is bouncing back up after a devastating, really, really bad week last week. And now things are starting to kind of go back in the red a little bit here. You could see everything is starting to retract again here. So these markets are very risky. So when I say it's a safe haven, there is no safe haven in investing, okay? When you're
Right.
investing in the stock market and you're investing in cryptos, there is no safe haven. This is all extremely speculative. It's all very risky. That's why I always
Yeah.
say that Rich TV Live is strictly for education and entertainment purposes. We just want
That's
to
right.
educate you and teach you and show you what's out there. I'm not telling you, and I'm not suggesting you should buy any of these things. I will tell you what I'm buying. I'll tell you what
Right.
prices I bought at. I'll tell you what prices I sold at. Right now, I'm just accumulating. You know,
Yeah.
the 2018 just started, and my strategy for investing is accumulate my favorite stocks and cryptocurrencies. I don't get
Okay.
too focused on the price. When they go down, I buy more, and that's my strategy. It's always been my strategy. The way I trade, and it's called dollar cost averaging. It's lowering your cost average. It's something we've talked about on our show, and I'll just continue to do it to the day I die. That's how I trade. That's the way I'll always trade. And I don't put all my eggs in one basket. When I trade, I don't take my mortgage money and I trade with it. I trade with right now I'm trading with the house's money in both the crypto and the marijuana stocks. So the way I trade is I hold, I buy what I like at a low price. I watch it, I buy it, I hold it. And then when I get enough profit, 30, 40%, or sometimes hopefully more, sometimes 1,000%, but at least 30, 40% I'm trying to get. Sometimes I'll even take 10%. It depends on how much I'm playing with, you know? But I don't really take less than 10%. I'll be quite honest with you. I'd rather hold. And if I really believe in the company, I'll hold. And then as it goes down, I'll watch it. I'll watch it. I'll watch it. I'll stalk it. I'll watch it. I'll watch it. I'll watch it every day. Just like this. I'll watch it. Right? I'm watching everything in the crypto game. I'm watching Bitcoin every day go up and down. And like, it's hard to believe that Bitcoin's at 6,800. Like, for me to believe that this is at 6,800 now, it's hard to swallow. But then I also remember it was at 5,000 in November. So at the end of the day, I mean, like, November wasn't that long ago. You know, we're in February, so it's a quarter away. So that's how volatile crypto is. That's how volatile Bitcoin is. And the marijuana stocks are also very volatile. So you have to know what you're getting involved with when you get into this game. There's very big highs and very big lows. But if you are able to withstand those lows and buy at those opportunities, then when the big highs come, you also have to remember those days when you feel like you got kicked in the guts. You know, you feel it in your guts and you're like, oh, and it was like last week that was for me, you know? And then today, you know, the marijuana stocks at least are doing a lot better. Bitcoin is doing terrible, but at least the marijuana stocks are doing a lot better. And there are some examples of stocks that are doing good today. But you know what? They're starting to go back down right now. So that's the markets, Dave. You know, we've seen this. So if you've grown up in the markets like us, unfortunately, you've seen too many of these days.
Yeah, it's we've been there, done that. That's why people look to Rich TV Live. Again, go to richtvlive.com if you haven't gone there already. Also, check out his YouTube channel. You know, links in the description below this video. For goodness sake, subscribe to Rich. Do it. Get the updates. So what are you saying? Well, first I'll tell you what I'm saying, because I'm sure people have emailed you a lot saying, oh my God, what do I do? I've gotten a lot of those emails every day for the last week, 2 weeks. What do I do? I'm way down. I tell them, well, first of all, if you're feeling emotional, then you put too much into it. But that's, you know, that doesn't make them feel any better. So to help them feel a little better, I tell them, look, if you have a long-term outlook, okay, if you are willing to hang in there, then just do it. Just hang in there and don't look so much. Okay, maybe step away from the computer or the phone for a little while. That's what I've been telling people to kind of assuage their fears a little bit. Rich, I'm just curious, what have you been telling people who, because I know you've been getting emails and text messages all the time. Oh my God, I'm way down. What do I do? What do you tell those people?
I just tell them, listen, man, don't panic. This is the markets. The markets go up and down, and you've got to learn not to panic. And if you believe that that stock or that crypto or that investment will disappear, you should sell.
Okay.
If you believe that that company has a future, which is the only thing I try to invest in, is companies that I believe have a future. Not to say that, you know, I don't make mistakes. I do. But I'll hold on to something usually, like especially a stock or cryptocurrency. I like to hold for at least, for me, like I will sell it if it goes up really quickly. But if it doesn't, I don't mind holding for a year.
Okay.
right? That's
Okay.
kind of the way I
Yeah.
look at it. I don't mind
Right.
holding for a year. I look at it more like this is an asset that I'm accumulating.
Right.
This is an asset in an industry that is growing. It's
Yeah.
going to have ups and downs. It's going to have changes. There's going to be more regulation, especially in crypto. Even in marijuana stocks as well, there's going to be more regulation, especially in Canada and in America. So, and throughout the rest of the world. So as this regulation is happening and licensing is happening, more and more things are going to happen and stocks are going to go up and down, and so will cryptocurrencies. You have to learn not to get emotional, and really, you got to learn when it's up, you got to learn to sell. Because there's a lot of people that are like, oh, I should have sold when I was way up. I was up 60 grand, 100 grand, $1 million. I've heard people been up and they didn't sell, Dave. And what I want people to learn from that is when you're up, you need to sell. Right? And I think a lot of people, I did sell, you know, and I did well. I reinvested again with the house's money, and I'm down on both my crypto and my marijuana stocks right now. I'm not going to lie to you, to start 2018. But I also was down to start 2017, and in the end of 2017, I was up. So I remember this. It's happened before. It's not to say that 2018 will finish like 2017 will. That's not guaranteed, for sure. But I also know that as a trader, I can also buy more. I can buy more at a lower price. And especially coins like Ripple that I really believe in. The biggest mistake I made with Ripple is I didn't sell at 330. The next time Ripple goes to 330, I will have a lot more coins because my goal was to get 10,000. I've got 9,000 right now, so now I can buy another 1,000 really easily. So for me to get 10,000, which was my goal, this is like perfect. So technically, all the coins I like, I'm just going to be able to buy them now for cheaper. So I was never planning on buying them with the money I was going to make selling those coins. That was never my plan in the first place. I was just accumulating coins and accumulating marijuana stocks that I like and I believe in 2018. Now, do I like the fact that they've gone down? No. I think it's terrible. Do I think it's terrible that people have lost money? I do. Can I control the markets? No. Unfortunately, I cannot. If I could, I would have said, let's all have 52-week highs and everything. Let's make millions and billions of dollars, and let's live comfortably. But unfortunately, I don't control the markets, and you don't either. So all we can do is try to educate people and show them what is happening and what is out there, and there will be opportunities, and eventually Bitcoin will hit a bottom. So you're seeing right now, Bitcoin has went to 6,600, and right now it's pushing to go up to 7,000. So it's good to see that, you know, it's going up. But I mean, like, when is the bottom going to hit? You don't know yet. And I think it's very risky, especially with crypto, to play that game. I would rather play that game with the marijuana stocks right now. That's my opinion. And that's what I'm doing. But to be quite honest with you, I'm not actually going to sell anything or buy anything for the next month or so. I'm just going to watch the markets and focus on other things. Because I think that what you focus on expands. And if you can't focus on the market and you can't control it, then trying to focus on it will really only stress you out. Right? It'll only make you feel unhappy. And I've been there. I'm in there. I'm in there. You know? My Ripple at one point was worth 30 grand. And now it's worth probably 5 grand. So as a trader, I know I made a bad trade. And I even told my community I made a bad trade. I admitted to it that I should have sold it at 330. And I think as a trader, you got to learn to be honest with yourself. And when you make bad decisions and you don't sell at the top, you should learn from that. And don't get angry at yourself, but just learn from it. So the next time Ripple goes to 330, and I believe it will again. And I believe it will again in 2018. And I believe it'll go higher. At some point. I don't know if it'll stay there. Because if you look at cryptos, it's a moving target.
Oh yeah.
Right?
So Ripple, you think it's going to possibly go down to 20 cents?
Yes.
And up to more than $3 per coin, per token This year?
Yes.
In the same year?
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I
That's
believe that
incredible
Bitcoin
opportunity.
will also resurrect and Bitcoin will do better. And I believe that this is just a cycle.
Okay.
And I believe that things need to go down so that all the rich people can make money.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, that's just the game, right? So if you are in a market that's not regulated and you have the ability to take everything down and give everybody
Yeah.
the chance to get in cheap,
Right.
and all the new people that are getting into cryptos that have never bought any cryptos can now get in cheap again in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Well, guess what?
Yeah.
You know, Bitcoin just hit 7,000. It was just
Yeah.
at 6,600. So, you know, Ripple's at 69 cents. It was just at 64.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
the markets will turn around at some point, Dave. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
do I want it to go to 20 cents? I think selfishly I want it to go cheap so I can buy some. Do I really
Right.
want it to go down to 20 cents? Hell no. I'm not insane. But I mean, selfishly, I'd like to buy some cheap. That's the only reason
Sure.
why I'd want it to go down. But, you know, am I praying that it goes down? Hell no, man. I'm not insane. So at
Right.
the end of the day, it's just like it's one of those things where you just learn when you're in the markets that that's the markets.
Right. Right.
You know, it's
That's
like
what
being
I'm
in a boxing match and saying, man, I don't want to get hit. Well, you're in a boxing match.
Yeah.
You're probably going to get hit, you know?
It's gonna happen.
You're in the
Yeah.
markets. You
Yep.
don't want it to go down. Yeah, nobody does, but it's the markets. It's going to go down.
Right.
It's going to go up and it's going to go down. So,
If you, yeah, no, and there's no safety. I mean, even in bonds, with bond yields rising, people who already own bonds or have owned bonds, they're not even doing that well. They're suffering. I mean, even bonds are not safe anymore. The stocks, blue chip stocks, aren't even safe right now. The S&P 500 is down 2.5% as we speak. This is massive, and it was down 2% on Friday. So we're in the middle of a market correction. So even those safe, quote unquote, safe stocks, McDonald's, Disney, ExxonMobil, whatever, Coca-Cola, even those aren't safe right now. So if you're in the markets, you've got to understand there's going to be volatility, and sometimes you're going to lose. The idea is to win more than you lose, and then you come out ahead over time. If you're in the cryptocurrencies space, awesome. I want you to be part of this if you want to, and if you can afford it. That's the important thing. Don't put money into cryptocurrencies, marijuana stocks, or any investment that you cannot afford to lose. That's hugely important. Right now, a lot of people are suffering. A lot of people are in pain right now. But hey, look at that. Back up to 7,000. During this program, it's going up. Okay, things are getting better. If you sold at the worst possible time, you're already starting to regret it a little bit, probably. It's already, look at Rich's screen. It's already going up.
I mean, there's a bottom to everything, Dave. In the markets, there is gravity in the markets. I always say it. There is gravity in the markets. And the markets do go up and down. So you got to remember when it's down, that's the time to buy. And then when it's up, that's the time to sell. When it's up, it's not the time to hold. And that's the thing that I really want to teach people, is educate people, is let's say you buy something and it goes up and you sell it and you make money. Isn't that the reason why you invested?
Yep.
People have this thing. It's like they're afraid to sell, you know? And I'm like, why? And they get emotional. They get attached to these stocks. And I'm like, listen, do you think that these stocks care about you? If they go down like the way they did last week, do you think any one of these stocks is going to give you more shares? Do you think any of these companies are going to send you some shares for your losses?
No way.
So when you're up, you got to play the game like the bankers are playing the game. You got to understand the game that's being played. And the people that are playing the game, the bankers that are playing the game, the institutions that are playing the game, that are buying those stocks and those cryptocurrencies, the whales, the high net worth investors that are buying Bitcoin, Ripple, Ethereum, you know, and all the top marijuana stocks or technology stocks like Amazon, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, all these huge companies, Google. You know, if you're one of those people buying those things, you know that there's going to be ebbs and flows in the markets and there's going to be ups and downs. You got to learn how to get out when you're up. Yeah. That's a big part of the game. And it's also learning how to watch them and stalk them and get in when they're down. And that's something that, you know, I'm going to talk about all the time. And when they're down is right now. And learning how to watch these opportunities and find those opportunities in those windows. And then when you see that they go down, that's people that are just taking their profits, essentially. You know, sometimes if you're a banker and you're playing with millions of dollars, that 5% in a day, that's enormous.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. People are going to take profits. Bitcoin just went up $200 in the last couple of minutes while you were saying that. So for the people who sold at the worst possible time, it's still going up. Look at that. For the people who sold at the worst possible time, man, I hope you're learning a lesson here. When you sell in the red, man, you're not following Rich's advisement. Not that this is investment advice, it's not. But you're not doing what Rich does, which is buy in the red and then sell in the green. Look at Bitcoin going up 72.50. It just went up $250 in the last few minutes.
As quickly as it's come down, Dave, it can go up. So nobody should be kidding themselves and thinking that Bitcoin is going anywhere. Now, as much as Bitcoin has its flaws, and I think that there's going to be a day that Bitcoin Cash will surpass Bitcoin. And that's something I'm concerned about with Bitcoin. And I don't know how they're going to deal with that.
Yeah.
So personally, I would be more interested in buying Bitcoin Cash. And that's kind of my strategy. But Bitcoin is still the name that everybody on a global scale has heard first and foremost before Bitcoin Cash. So that's why it's difficult for me to try to figure out what is going to happen in the future. So that's why for me personally, the one that I have the most of is Ripple.
Okay.
I have Ripple. I have Stellar Lumens. I have Bitcoin. You know, I have Cardona. I have Redcoin. So I've accumulated a few coins, and I'm just going to keep buying the coins that I own, that I like, that I enjoy their technology. Like I said, I'm not putting my mortgage money into these things. You know, I'm playing with essentially the money I made from investing in both cryptos and marijuana stocks last year. So, yeah, am I down? Yeah. Do I like it? No. But I also know that I'm going to accumulate more. And when it's down, that's my opportunity to accumulate more. But I'm also in no rush to accumulate more. I'm not. I'm not. I'm just kind of watching. And I look at it like we're in a bear season right now. So why should I be buying anything? Let's just see how low it's going to go. I mean, yeah, it's going up right now. But to me, does that mean we've hit the bottom? No. No. You know? So that's the thing. Like, I want people to understand that. Like, and understand, like, you can't. Oh, it's gone up 500. It's gone up 700 points since Rich has been live. You know? It's going back up to 10,000. Well, that could just be another setup. And then it just comes right back down again. So you got to understand the game that's being played and the manipulation that's happening in these markets. Right?
Gotcha.
And I believe that there's a lot of manipulation that's happening in these markets because they're unregulated markets.
Gotcha. All right. And just to wrap it up, because I know you're a busy man. I know you got places to go, things to do. But Rich TV Live, I know you want your website to be a hub of information and resources for people. I'm going to send people over there from my channel for sure, richtvlive.com, and subscribe to Rich TV and Rich TV Live as well. What's the latest? I mean, what's richtvlive.com going to become for people?
Well, we've got an app at Google Play. You can download our app and join our group chat at Google Play, Rich TV Live. You can find it at Google Play, so we're very excited about that. And I want to thank Dan, our IT guy, for that, for making that happen. And we're working on getting our app posted on iPhone, the Apple Store. So very excited about that. That should be happening soon. RichTVLive.com right now is growing very fast. We are doing about 120,000 unique visitors a month. And our goal is to get to 1 million unique visitors a month. So we're very excited. I have a lot of people working with us behind the scenes to build our brand, to help us with getting our name out there on Google Analytics. So when you type Rich TV Live, you'll see we pop up pretty quickly. When you're typing up marijuana stocks, cryptocurrencies, you'll see that we're starting to show up higher on the rankings on Alexa. So because we have had a really huge month in January, Alexa's not updated, I don't believe, it's right away. It'll probably be a couple months. So you'll see the rankings are really growing. We're also becoming one of the largest hubs for ICO reviews. I know you've been doing some ICO reviews as well. So We are becoming a very trusted resource for ICO reviews. And remember, guys, if you're buying like ICOs and our ICO reviews, don't expect that those reviews are going to be like 100%, and don't buy them just because I'm talking about them on my show. Please, like, that is strictly for education and entertainment purposes. The only reason why I even do that, to be honest with you, is because I want to educate the public about what's out there.
Sure.
But I want people to understand that I'm not buying those ICOs. You know, I don't want anyone to get the wrong idea that I am buying anything right now in crypto. Because the reality is I'm not. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm not going to, and I'm not set up to. I am set up to, and I am going to. Right now, I've chosen not to because I feel like when you're on the Titanic and you're sinking, you know, what are you going to do? Are you going to sink with the ship, or are you going to, you know, jump off? You know, I'm going to jump off. I want to save myself and my people. Let's jump off for a bit. You know, let's get on some lifeboats. And when it does come back to life and there's like, you know, a plan of action and there's a safety net somewhere, then I would feel more comfortable jumping back on that ship. But if there's like a huge hole and there's water and it's sinking, I think we need to save ourselves, don't we, Dave? Like, what are we going to do? Like,
Yeah.
are we like, when I say save ourselves, like, I'm not selling, I'm hodling. I'm holding on for dear life, okay? That's the way I trade. I've always traded that way, and I've traded that way for almost 20 years. So that's what's worked for me. But if you need to sell, and you need to sell, and if you're up, you should definitely sell. And if you need to sell and you're down and you really need to sell, then you should probably sell, okay? That's my advice to you. But if you can hold it and you can accumulate more at a lower price, think about it this way. Let's just say you bought Ripple at $3 near the top. And right now it's at 73 cents. It's interesting how it's just exploded up since we've been talking. So let's just say you bought Ripple and now it's at 73 cents. My attitude is, well, if I wait 6 months, it might go back to $5.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't I buy some more at 73 cents? And if my average cost is $3 and I buy some at 73 cents, let's say I spent $1,000 and my average cost was $3. Now, if I put another 1,000 in at 73 cents, it's going to reduce my average cost dramatically. My average cost will now no longer be $3. My average cost will be like round maybe about $1.30.
Maybe. Yeah.
So you've just reduced your average cost by 50%.
Yeah.
And now, do you believe there's a chance that Ripple could go to $1.50? That's more likely than $3. So that's how I trade. So I don't put all in my eggs in one basket into that one specific trade. So I have other investments and tools that I can use to get out of a bad trade. So that's kind of how I trade. So when I trade, I buy something to get it on my radar. That's kind of how I trade. It's on my radar now. I own it. But I don't really look at it like I'm afraid of the price. I look at it like I will buy more at a lower price. So if it goes down, this is my chance to accumulate. So I've been accumulating Ripple all the way down, right? And the lower it gets, the more I'm going to buy of it.
Yep.
Because this is the one I like the most. Why? Because it's working with the banks.
Right.
I've said it since the beginning. So if you work with the banks and the banks love you, you're working with American Express, you're working with Royal Bank of Canada, you're working with potentially Visa, and I'm hearing all kinds of rumblings of Western Union, huge conglomerates, global conglomerates. They see a future with Ripple, so I see that future with Ripple. So for me, I'm going to continue to buy Ripple. My average cost is around 30 cents, so I'm still up, but I'm not even considering selling. I'm not even considering selling. It doesn't even go through my mind. Like, I'm going to be honest with you, it has never crossed my mind. And I've had people tell me, Rich, you should sell it. You know, Rich, it's going to go to nothing. It's going to go to 20 cents. And I say, you know what? You might be right. But I believe in Ripple, and I believe in my intuition. And my intuition is saying that this bad boy here, this is going to explode at some point. And when it does, I want to have as much of it as possible. So that's just the way I trade. And even with the marijuana stocks, I feel that way about all of them that I've been buying. So it's like I got like a brother or sister, and I love my family, and I look at these stocks like they're my family, you know? I love these stocks because they pay my bills, you know?
Sure.
So I love them. Yeah. And if they have a bad day, you know, if I invest in fantasy basketball and I'm investing in LeBron James, or I invest in a marijuana stock, or I invest in Ripple, and just because Ripple has a bad day, or my basketball player has a bad day, do I just drop them? If LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers have been losing a lot, and that's why I'm wearing this jacket, because LeBron's been on a losing streak, right? Okay. LeBron's been on a crazy losing streak, and he's lost 8 games in a row on national television. And he came out and said, we shouldn't even be on national television. Yeah. So, you know, I don't think he should have said that. You know, you've earned the right to be on national television. Why would you say that? So that is not a good leadership quality for me personally, to see that. And I love LeBron. He's one of the best players ever. You would have never heard Michael Jordan say that. Never heard Michael Jordan say that. So if I'm his fantasy owner, you know, I might want to get rid of LeBron because I might be thinking, you know, he's got a bad attitude. So if I'm a holder of a stock, it's the same thing. Like if I got a stock and they got bad news, like they're getting sued or something bad's happening to them, then I might consider getting rid of that family member, right? That's the way I look at it. But for the most part, I would never turn on my family. And the way I look at it is with these stocks, they're like my family. Like I love them. So with these cryptos, Ripple, I love Ripple. Like I have fallen in love with Ripple. So it doesn't matter what Ripple does to me. I'm not going to turn on Ripple. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. Like I look at these like it's like my best friend, you know? And, you know, maybe I'm crazy, but that's how I trade. You know, and I watch them, I read their news, I follow them, you know, almost religiously, and that's how I trade. And when you fall in love with a stock, like I fell in love with Facebook, I fell in love with Amazon, you know, I love those stocks, and they've done extremely well for me, and they're part of my like long-term portfolio. So there's certain things I've done that are just long-term have worked really well for me. So that strategy and that long-term strategy that I've had for my whole life has really worked for me long term. So that's why I don't concern myself with like a 7-day period or a 2-week period of trading or a 2-month period of trading. I think that's a very small way to look at the market. Because if you really look at Bitcoin, it's still up 726% since last year. Last year it was at $1,000 at this time. Yeah. Now it's at 7,200. It was at 5,000 in November. I go back to my videos. I can't even believe it. It was at 5,000 in November, and then it shot up to 20,000. So what's to stop it from shooting up to 20,000 again, Dave?
Good point. You know what? You're making me feel better. I didn't even need consolation, and yet you're making me feel better with that perspective, with the long-term outlook. You're looking at the fundamentals, not just of companies, but of currencies and cryptocurrencies as well. You're looking beneath the hood. You're saying, you know what, this car, okay, you know what, all cars have a little bit of car trouble, all right? But that doesn't mean it's a bad car. You can still keep using it. Or just like, you know, you use the sports analogy, all right? You don't just give up on your favorite team, your favorite players, because they have a couple losses in a row.
That's right.
So hey, this has been Rich TV and looking at the markets with David Moadel. We're back up to 7,200 already on Bitcoin. Who knows where it's going? Man, if you're feeling panicky, I understand. But Rich has the right attitude. Stay in the game. Whatever your plan is, stay in the game, think long term, and calm down. It's going to be all right. Thank you, Rich, I'm going to get this to my audience for sure. I've been recording it. Can't wait to post it because people have been asking me, what the heck do I do? I think you answered it as well as anybody possibly could. Just with your tone and your calm demeanor, I think it really helps. So richtvlive.com is the place to be. It's becoming the portal for all your ICOs, all your cryptos, all your marijuana stocks, and everything else.
And don't forget, we just did an interview with Shannon Briggs, 2-time world boxing champion. Rich TV Live is becoming the place for entertainment and collaboration. Obviously, you were the first YouTuber to collaborate with Rich TV Live, and I thank you so much, David, for that. We will continue to collaborate, my friend. Continue with your ongoing success with your channel, with your community, and with everything that you're doing. And I just love working with you. And working with Shannon Briggs was a dream come true. Interviewing a boxer, being someone who dreamed of being a sports broadcaster, and went to school for it, and always thought that maybe one day that could be something I could do. And then to actually interview Shannon Briggs, I'll be honest with you, it was a dream come true, Dave. And I'm telling you guys right now, I will be interviewing Shannon Briggs and other celebrities very soon. However, and I don't want you to tell anyone where I'm going, Dave, but I am going to be taking a trip tomorrow. So I will be broadcasting from a tropical paradise. So
that's a clue.
So much. I'm so not concerned that I'm going to be live streaming from paradise. So yeah, I'm not even remotely concerned about cryptos or marijuana stocks. In fact, I'm very excited about all the investments I've made, and I'm excited about accumulating more. I'm just not in a rush to buy more now because I want to kind of see what happens. I kind of just going to get my popcorn ready, Dave.
Get
your popcorn
ready. I got my popcorn ready. I love sitting back, getting the popcorn ready, and watching the show wherever it takes you, wherever that roller coaster ride takes you. This has been Rich TV Live and looking at the markets. We're going to put this out today, or at least I am, because I want to get this to all the people who are worried. No worries. Don't worry. Be happy. Rich TV Live.
All right, party people. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you soon. Thank you, Dave. Peace.
Thank you.